Good morning. I'm Sunshower Rose. I'm in Sedona, Arizona, and I'll be your host this morning on our fabulous miracle call. What a way to start the week. We are so lucky. If there's any guests here, I'd love it if you just pop up, maybe raise your hand just for a second, because I can't see everybody. I can only see about 30 of you, and I know there's about 50. If you want to say hello, just by raising your hand, that'd be great. Let me give you some housekeeping rules. This is where we're going to be giving testimonials. The first 15 minutes of this half-hour call will be dedicated to X39. And the other 15 minutes, we can add in others. And what we're looking for is for you to tell us how things were for you before the use of the patch and then after. So we must not name symptoms, as we're not here to cure, treat, or diagnose any disease. Please, no disease names. If it's an itis, don't say it. So let's see. So we're going to talk each maybe 30 seconds, 1 minute, as a courtesy to everybody so they can all get their testimonials in. And with that, I want to see some hands so we can get this thing rolling. You don't want to hear my smeller story again, do you? Come on now. Hands up, hands up. Ooh, come on, everybody. Wake up, wake up. Dolly, thanks.
Okay, it's a little bit early for my head to organize everything, but I've had a lot of success and a lot of just wonderful positive things happening from I had no hair right here and look at me now. So that's a wonderful thing because we all want to look good. And then I used to get, when I would lie down at night to go to sleep, these, I don't know where they came from, but just these awful, scary thoughts. And I would tell them to go away and work hard at that and finally go to sleep. Well, now that I don't even have them anymore. They're just totally gone. And you know what? If X39 can do that, it can do a lot of things. And I've got a lot more, but since other people are getting brave and their thoughts are organized, thank you for letting me go first.
Well, thank you for being brave enough to do that. And we encourage anybody else who's a bit shy to just go ahead. We are family here. We are your Lifeway family, and we are here to support you. And guess what? If you tell us a story that you've experienced, some testimonial that you've experienced with the X39, guess what? Your story just might impact someone else. And they may go, oh my goodness, I really do need to take a look at this. So thanks for starting us out, Dolly. Lavelle, please.
Morning.
Morning.
So, yeah, a friend of mine, his name is Kevin. Kevin, he lives in Vegas, and he used to walk with his cane, and he had a sciatic hip problem. And when I first got started, I called him and talked to him about it, and he wore the patch, the X39, for 30 days, and he says, "Well, I don't think this thing is working." I'm like, "Kevin, you're like 70 years old. Can you give it a little time?" I'll be back in 60 days. Well, I don't think this thing is working. I said, "Kevin, keep using it. Give it some time." He called me back in 90 days and said, "Lavelle, my pain is gone. I don't need my cane. Man, thank you so much for encouraging me to keep using this product." And then, because I've been with the company now 5 years next month, he actually called me after a couple of years and said, "About that pain has never come back, and I don't need my cane." And now it's been 3 or 4 years now, and he still hasn't used that cane. So just keep using it, guys, and you're gonna be fine. Thanks, Sunshine.
Well, thank you, Lavelle. And that you made a good point. These patches, the results are cumulative. So you definitely don't want to like stop and then start again, because guess what? You have to start all over again. But remember that cumulative word, because consistency and accumulation. Woohoo! There's a good combination of words. Hey, Jen.
Good morning. So, yeah, I've had a lot of success and a lot of, challenges. So you definitely don't want to like stop. And then start again because guess what? You have to start all over again. But remember that cumulative word, because consistency and accumulation. Woohoo! There's a good combination of words. Hey, Jen. Hello, Sunshower.
Hi.
You've helped me on Michael's show, and many of you here have. I'm thinking of a lot of faces that are very familiar and help
And
us.
say the last name of Michael, because some folks won't.
Oh, Michael Jaco, and there's a lot of people on here. Hi, Chris. Hi, everybody. Anyway, Jonathan Beale's been on. So what I want to say, a couple things just to help others, because I realize that I ought to share every once in a while. My knee, when I first started on the patches 2.5 years ago, my knee was really hurting from long walks. And anyway, within a week, it stopped and the pain went away. And I say it cautiously because so many people don't have that experience. So I don't say it to make you disappointed if you didn't have that experience, because I've had some long-term experiences that are huge. And one thing, I had some problems with my eye. It was itching and painful. I made an appointment with my eye doctor and I waited 2 weeks to get in with this. So I kept putting, eye drops on. I go in, she checks it thoroughly and said, well, the only thing we can do for you is to recommend putting eye drops on. It's a dry eye. And I went, what? So I went home and I took the carnosine patch and I put it right here. The next day, it was gone. So carnosine works. Carnosine works. And I know people have used it also for the film over their eyes. I had that surgery a couple years ago, so I too bad. I wish I'd known. But anyway, the major one happened this year. Michael is a Navy SEAL, and we were asked by Harris Williams he wanted to take Michael and his managers, some of which are on here now. I see Fred there, but he wanted to take them out on the boat. And he has a pontoon in Tampa Bay. And I said, okay, well, I'll arrange it. So we got everybody on the boat. But what I didn't tell anybody is that I throw up. If the waves are bad, I get very sick. And I have since childhood. And my ex-husband is a doctor, and he said to me, I know what your problem is, when he first married me, because I had something in my inner ear that was a bone spur. He says, that'll make you sick no matter what. And I got sick on airplanes and long rides, blah, blah, blah. So I had a life of flying with these armbands in my purse. I would always wear them. And then my kids wanted to go on a cruise one time. I went, okay. And I got, the scopolamine patches, and I got whatever I needed in my ammunition. And I left them all at home because for the last year, now that I've been flying to see my children in various places, I haven't been getting sick. And I haven't been putting on the armband. So this has been going on for like the last year. So I took a bottle of sparkling water with me. And we had food and stuff, but didn't drink any alcohol or anything. And it was offered at lunch and stuff. I made it through 5 hours, and I felt like, God, it's awful rough, this water. We're going up and down and boats would go by. And finally, at the end of it, I said, Michael, you're a Navy SEAL. I have to tell you that I always get sick. I feel great today, and it has to be the patches. I'm telling you all, it has to be the patches. And I wore X39 and 49. I've worn them religiously. The other ones I use is needed, whatever I wish. But those are the patches I wear.
Oops, you froze. Well, we sure got that message, didn't we, you guys?
Yep.
Wear that X39, wear that thing. All kinds of miracles seem to happen. Well, thank you for your presence while you were able to, Jen, and let's go on to Christina. Oh, thank you.
Wait, I wanted to say one
Okay.
thing. Harris said it was the worst day ever in Tampa Bay.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't just me. It was the worst day ever. So there you go. The patches work. Okay, quiet.
No kidding, no kidding. Thank you so much, Jen. Perseverance, she was able to come back on. Isn't that cool? All right, Christina, please.
Good morning. I can't undo my video because I'm not ready for the day. But I wanted to share my allergy story. I have had hay fever and allergic to dogs and cats and horses and pretty much my whole life. I don't remember a time not getting sick. And I've been on the patches for 3 years now. And I kind of felt like I noticed something maybe the second year, maybe. But this last year, when spring came, I went into a barn that had, I don't know, I think they have about 30 horses in there, and walked around and petted them, and uh, hung out with my little granddaughter. And I would be like deathly ill, like clear down into my lungs. And then there was cats running around in there, and they were rubbing up against me. For some reason, animals love me, even though I get sick when I'm around them. And so they always are drawn to me. And there was dogs and just everything, the dust, everything. And usually I'd be super sick, but I did not have my allergies. Now, mentally, I've had them for so many years. I'm like, oh, my eyes are bothering me. They're itchy. You know what I'm saying? But when
Uh-huh.
I left, I was breathing and going, oh my gosh, I really don't have my allergies anymore. So I feel like that is, I mean, it's a miracle. I mean, it's truly a miracle that the patches, and I've changed nothing else. And I have lots of stories. So if we have someone else that don't have their hand up, I'd be happy to share another one. But that was a remarkable
Very, very
thing.
remarkable. Thank you so much, Christina. We
Yeah,
appreciate your willingness to tell us your stories.
absolutely. Thank you.
Right, let's go on to Connie. Connie of Connie Zoom. Yay.
Hello, I'm going to concur and just add on to Jennifer. I'm actually getting ready to get on a plane right now, and I started wearing the energy enhancers on those acupressure points on your wrist. And I started doing it just to keep up the energy from travel, and realized very quickly that it was working. I a lot of times have to take a low dose Dramamine, and it was working phenomenally. And I was on a flight a couple flights ago, and a little girl was in the bathroom with her mom, and she was throwing up through the trip. And she came out, and I just told her, this won't hurt her, let me put them on. And we gave her my energy enhancers. Well, I sat back down, and about 10 minutes later, I looked at Barry, and I'm like, oh, those were working. I don't feel so bad. I gave those up. So I have been traveling with them. And of course, the added benefit of burning fat to create energy is always a bonus.
There you go. Double whammy. Thanks so much, Connie. Well, okay, I see Lynn is willing to give us a story. If you'll put your hand down, Connie, unless you have more to say. Okay.
Yes, hello. Yes, I just want to say how I'm just starting to really feel the benefits of the patches, because I was out in the garden this morning and I didn't know what the time was, so I didn't look. I mean, before I knew about the patches, half an hour and I would have to stop because of the unfortunately the problem I've got in my right arm. But this morning I sort of did quite a major job at pruning, and then I realized the jasmine was sort of climbing between the porch and the house, and I thought, oh no, I need to take some of that off. So they were heavy branches that I had to get out and sort out. So, and then when I came in, it was 2.5 hours. And I was just amazed that I still had energy. I mean, I did fall asleep for 5 minutes just now, but I mean, that's normal, thing if you've done all that. But the one thing that's really lifting me is the fact my hair has grown so much. It's grown, I've hardly ever had it cut in my life because it never used to grow. And suddenly I've got really lovely shaped hair. So, and also my body mass is now more muscular. And I'm definitely sleeping, having weird dreams at the moment, but that's because we're going through a funny thing on the planet. And I just wanted to let you know a few positive things, feedback from what I'm going through. And I've only just got to 5 months, so it's quite exciting, really. So thank you.
So Lynn, 5 months of X39, is that what the patch
Yes,
is?
X39, X49, and then Ian at night. And today I put the energy enhancers on because there's an area that you can get a bit sore. It's the bladder acupressure in the foot on the right side, on
Mhm,
the inside of the right foot,
mhm.
with the Achilles heel, all about that. And it's just, I think it's anger coming out from something. So that's what I feel intuitively anyway, and that's good because now I feel good, and I wouldn't normally, I'd be wiped out for the rest of the day. So
Fabulous. Well, I sure can relate to the hair part. I don't know. You maybe didn't know me a few years ago, but my hair would not grow. It would just sort
yeah.
of stop here. And now it's
Yes, it's lovely to have it, it's just every time you look in the mirror, it's just quite uplifting. So, and other people, yesterday I saw that we had a thing on the green in the town, and somebody I've known for some time, they said,
Mhm.
Is your hair natural? I said, yes.
That's cool. Thank you so
Exactly.
much, Lynn. That's really cool. We have someone else that would like to speak now. I just wanted to say
Thank
about
you.
Eon. You mentioned Eon. It's a calmer downer. It's like an anti-inflammatory, very useful. Before the X39 came out, that was David Schmidt's favorite. So
Which
thanks.
one was, sorry, which one did you say?
Eon, you mentioned.
Yeah,
Eon.
yes,
Mhm.
yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Lynn. And Darcy, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, I'm really hopeful for some of those hair results, but I'm sure it's gonna happen to me.
Just
But
put like 3 or 4 X39s right here.
that's right, a wrap around the whole head. The reason I want to get on here is my wife has been going through about 3.5 years now, coming on 3.5 years of uh, chemotherapy and different radiation therapies. And a friend of ours introduced us to the patch on the 2nd of this month, as he coincidentally just started radiation himself. I hadn't talked to him in quite a while, but anyways, she was really struggling with energy.
Sure thing, just let me know.
She was really struggling with energy, and our bedroom's upstairs in the house, and she had to maybe halfway upstairs holding the handrail and have to stop for a rest halfway up. And since starting this patch on the 2nd of this month, I'd say 2 days after taking the patch, she noticed right away that she's walked upstairs carrying her cup of water and food in her hand. She didn't realize I'm not even holding the handrail and didn't have to stop going up. So just a remarkable difference in her energy level. She still has a nap during the day, but between naps, like, she's just amazing energy. So I'm pretty sure that patch is definitely contributing to that. So we're pretty excited about those results. And yeah, we're looking forward to hopefully our next MRIs in a month or so, hopefully show some good results too. But yeah, it's so far we're very optimistic. And also one other thing is I got a patch of skin taken on my chest from sun exposure about 1.5 years ago, and I left a pretty nasty scar. So I've been putting we both started patch at the same time. I was putting a patch in the back of my neck for the first week, and I thought, oh, I'll just try putting the scar, see what happens. I'm putting it right in the scar here, and I'm gonna say, I bet you my scars dropped by at least 10 or 15% for sure already in the last 2.5 weeks in size. Like, it's already starting to, I swear it's starting to make it less obvious. So I'm yeah, very optimistic.
Just love it. I always say, see it the way you want it.
Yeah.
Don't even put that word hope in there. Just go for it. Yeah, it's going to be this way. And
That's right.
expect the best, because it's going to happen. Can't not happen. Thank you so much, Darcy. Fellow Canadian, I assume. Yeah. Okay. Well, Dr. Henriette, here she is.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, Sunshowers. Good to
Good
see
morning.
you all. I, like Connie, am in between locations, so I am not going to do the video. However, I have compiled a few stories from my clients. I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I've been with LifeWave for about 3.5 years. So for the most part, and this is generally about mood, which I found really interesting with regard to many people who don't expect that because initially they're physically challenged or have imbalances. So Dolores said, I feel lifted, have more energy coursing from the neck down my body. Wow, I do feel a difference. And this is after a few minutes. And another person had very similar after a few hours. So the moods is lifted almost immediately. It seems very prevalent. And I think what comes with that is the hope that there is actually something that will help us when we're not well. Then this was X39, and I had a bunch of women friends over, and they all wanted to try the patches. So one who is rather nervous, anxious, not in really great shape. But a younger woman, I gave her an X39 and then one extra. And that night, it was really fantastic. She said she immediately calmed down. Everything went better. I feel a slight increase of energy, but simultaneously kind of sleepy because my nervous system was finally calmed down, and more physical, less physical pain and more mental clarity, an overall sense of more well-being. So here is one more, and then I'll yield the stage. There was a little girl, I talked about her before on one of the calls, but her mother put the patch on after I visited with them. And for her, it was an Aeon. And all the X39s prior, if you want locations, always the back of the neck. I start with C7 at the base of the neck, which is really the governing meridian's top. And what that means is that it governs all the other meridians. So your entire energy system is enerved and enervated, actually. Okay, so this little girl was 6, rambunctious, really wild. And I had put an Aeon patch on her when I was visiting. And then the mother reported the next day, the patch fell off before nightfall and Faith was wild and mean. And the next day, her mom put an Aeon on her foot. Now, I don't know exactly where. Put a sock over it, and the child forgot that it was there. When she came home from school, Faith was the sweetest, kindest way she's ever been. Really nice. She was smiling, she was happy, she went to sleep without issues after giving her mother, like a half hour of absolute terror. So these are just some of the testimonials and experiences I have firsthand from my clients. I thought I'd throw that in here since I was actually in the area and I could have a few minutes.
And thank you, Dr. Henriette. I so appreciate you saying all the stories that you did about your own patients and clients. I have actually interviewed you on our Power of the Patch showcase, and I recall you saying a part of this is one's own belief system that this might just work. Would you address that?
I sure will. Anyone, or maybe most of people, have heard of the placebo effect. This is an effect by which when we believe something will help us, it will actually make a much bigger difference than when we have to rely on another person. Having said that, you can also place your belief into a doctor or a practitioner, and in our case, into the patches. So when you believe in the patch, and the desire is generally very strong and much stronger to heal than it is to doubt, right? So the placebo effect takes place within us when we have a good presentation of patch effects. And all of you have shared so beautifully, I mean, the ones that I've heard. And it is true that we each need our own experience. Sometimes you need to stay with it longer, but the belief that it will work for you in time is an internal, what do I call this? An internal attitude, and that the glass is half full rather than half empty. And when people start talking about money and time, I always tell them, look, you don't have to try it. You don't have to try anything at all. This is an opportunity, and we have so much testimonials for how it works at what time. And we know and notice that while the belief may be there, it may be there 90 days later with actual evidence. And I think that's really important to know about.
Thank you so much for that input, Dr. Henriette. We really appreciate you and coming on this call today and speaking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty, let's, we have about 4 more minutes. Rovell?
Thanks, Sunshower. It's, the lawn's being done, so hopefully you can hear wonderful stories today. Thank you very much, everyone, for what you've shared. About 3 months in of using X39, the burning sensation I was experiencing, a lot of discomfort every time I ate or drank something. Those symptoms went away after 3 months and using X39. I want to mention that this message is directed towards Americans and beyond. If you're in Canada, all they do is stimulate acupuncture points. But anyway, but what happened in the last few months is that I started developing a couple of bad habits. I was eating really spicy food, sleeping really late, and overworking. And what happened was I put the SP6 on the stomach point. Of course, I'd always use X39 every day. I wouldn't go a day without it, and X49. But on the stomach point, I put SP6, which is, I guess, 3 or 4 finger widths below the kneecap. And Silent Nights on the liver point on my right foot, and Eon on the conception vessel, which is, you know, where Dr. Jeff puts the carnosine for digestive issues, kind of below the where you can tuck your finger under. I put the Eon there, and man, that that was incredibly effective. I'm just so grateful for the patches. So that with lifestyle, good lifestyle habits, we've got something really special to share. Thanks for listening.
We sure do. And if you'll stay unmuted, would you refer back to the Eon and the placement, Rovell? You said on the leg at one point, but then you put it somewhere else. Is that right?
On the leg, it was SP6, which Dr. Tom loves.
Oh, okay, right.
And the Eon was kind of esophageal, right here.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Thank you. That's helpful for folks. In fact, speaking of, here's our Dr. Acklin.
Sunshower Rose, you so very rock. I wanted to
So
share
do you,
with everyone,
buddy.
if people aren't paying attention to the chat, Dara Lynn shared in the chat a great story. She says, I'm not seeing how to raise my hand. My daughter was riding on a tube behind a boat and flew off, hitting the side of her face, completely blowing out her eardrum. We were scheduled to fly to Mexico to swim with the whale sharks for her 40th birthday in 4 weeks. The doctor said it wouldn't be healed and could possibly have surgery. I had her use X39 behind her ear 4 days before we left. Her doctor was preparing her with drops for the trip. She took a look and her ear was completely healed.
Oh, come on.
I wanted to pass that along. Amazing, yeah?
Thanks for not only being here, but actually reading the chat and letting us know about that story. I cannot see the chat. You know what?
Yeah.
We've had like 128 people here. What, on a Monday morning when everybody else is getting their week going and doing all kinds of other stuff? We are here as Lifeway family because this family rocks. Thank you so much, Dr. Acklin. You're muted. You're muted. Can't hear you. There you go.
The universe knows what everybody needs more than I do. I was going to say, yeah, I was saying, yeah, baby, what better place to be? And can I share a quick story that was inspired by Dr. Henrietta too?
No, of course.
She used the word rambunctious. I think we all know some rambunctious youngsters, yeah?
Yeah.
And some that have a few years on them as well. One of my favorite stories is a lady that we work with in Virginia. Her mother started working with a nurse who's an old colleague of mine and doesn't speak English very well, trusted the nurse, and her daughter is one of the rambunctious. We know those issues. We can't use the diagnoses or the labels, but not maintaining eye contact, not maintaining attention, not being in the moment. She's been using X39 and other technologies for about a year now. And once every month or two, we get a simple text from the mother that says, Malika want patches.
Oh.
And the mother doesn't actually use the technologies, which is interesting. They have financial issues and she's prioritizing her daughter.
Oh.
But this 25-year-old youngster who is loving life and able to stay on task and able to focus and walk through her day, and just one of my favorite stories ever.
It is a favorite type of story, and I've helped people myself with, it's usually teenagers-ish, just before puberty, but that has happened a lot to help these kids. So thank you so much for your contribution on all levels for the LifeWave family.
And you.
Thank you. Okay, we can take one more, and that would be Perry. Thank you so much.
Morning.
Can't hear you very well. Turn up your volume.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I've been on the patches 3 years, going on 4 years, and started when I was 83. And I had incontinence and was getting up 3 times during the night, 4 times. And after a year, it was 3 times. And this last month, I'm getting up my regular time. I'm not waking up during the night to go to the bathroom. It took 3 years, but it's worth it. Stay the course.
Stay the course. Nicely put. Thank you so much, Perry. What a wonderful thing for you. What a quality of life has returned for you. We are so happy for you. And we're happy for everybody who's experiencing the LifeWave technologies, and those of you that are just here taking a peek, give it a try. The person that invited you would be happy for you, and then you'll be happy for yourself and others. So thanks so much. I'd like to turn this back over to Gregory.
Or Robin.
Oh, Robin, hello, there you are.
Beautiful job, Sunshower, and thank you everyone for these amazing stories. Oh my God, this is the best way to start a day in a week, isn't it? Just how blessed we are that we wake up every day and we get to hear miracle stories. With all the craziness in the world and everything going on, we're so, so blessed. And Gregory and I are packing because we're going to the ribbon cutting for the Welcome Center. We'll be with Connie and David Jumper tomorrow. Very exciting. And I'm just over the moon about what we're going to see. We'll get to step in and see David's world through his eyes into the future and see where we've come. So we'll be very effusive when we talk next. And so thanks everyone for today. Tonight, we have a new director, Dr. Annabelle, and we have a new executive director, Pete Redekop. So I'm waiting to get confirmation from both of them to be on the call tonight to share their success tips of how they got to where they got, and they're moving on. So we love celebrating people, lots going on. We are definitely in the right place. And I was just sitting in reflection yesterday of realizing, there's been 2 phases of LifeWave so far, the pre-X39, X39, and now we're shifting into the 3rd phase, which is the technology and the new platform and a whole new world. So we are just so grateful to get to be part of this at this unique time in history, and love every one of you. We've got this beautiful, beautiful community, and embrace all of you to share this amazing journey. And so it's time to say goodbye and have a wonderful day. And then tomorrow night, I believe we have Michelle hosting Anne Moreau.
I think maybe that's me, not sure, but I'll double check that.
Yeah, that was, you guys made the switch last week. So yes, so that's what we have going on tomorrow night for Power the Patch. So that's a call to bring guests. The Connie Zoom last night on Doc Talk maxed out the 500 places. So we're looking with Connie about what's next. And that call is definitely, a gift to all of us. So if you're not using it, it's one of the best tools we've got. Absolutely, hands down. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we'll catch in with you tomorrow night from Utah. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you, and have a wonderful experience in Utah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Sunshower.
Guys.
Thank you, Gregory. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
What X39 did.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Great to see you. Yeah.
Bye, everyone.